James, I think a pretty big factor to this game is how much these defensive coordinators blitz. I mean, we can talk about turnovers and capitalizing on takeaways. I think that that's a big deal, especially when you look back at the Bengals' last game against the Chiefs when they dropped their interception opportunities. And I think we talked about that in the crossover. But Joe Burrow this year has been so good against the blitz. And when Steve Spagnuolo gives the Bengals opportunities to get these wide receivers in one-on-ones, Joe Burrow finding them and hitting them
Mhm.
is going to be a big factor. Now, the other thing is, does Steve Spagnuolo trick Joe Burrow again? Because he got him once in that game. The Bengals later got him back for a touchdown on the Jamar Chase vertical when Dan Sorensen looked like he took a bad angle. But earlier, you might remember a play where CJ Uzama got lit up on an incomplete pass to the right side of the field on a I don't know 15-yard out or so, where Spagnuolo almost baited Joe Burrow into an interception. So I think there's a chess match there, but can Spags stay patient and not blitz in this game? Looking back, the last I don't know 5 6 weeks, the only game he hasn't blitzed at least 20, was it 20 or 10? I can't remember. The lowest I've seen though was against the Pittsburgh Steelers. He only blitzed 4 times against that feeble offense. Now a little bit more threat going on with the Bengals offense. So how patient can the Chiefs defensive coordinator stay? I think that's a big factor.
Yeah, I get that, and I think the fun part to me is this Bengals offense, even if they do stay patient, and I get it, Burrow's better against the blitz and all of that. Like they're okay, and they've shown, okay, well, we can play this way, and they could just move the ball downfield and take what's in front of them. But yeah, if I'm the Chiefs, that's the last thing I want to do is blitz Burrow because one, all of the weapons that you have to account for. That alone. The Bengals have better weapons than the Chiefs. I I'm going to say it again because maybe people think it's a take. The Bengals have better weapons than the Chiefs do. They have the better running back. They have a wide receiver in Jamar Chase, who I think is playing better than Tyreek Hill right now. Sorry if that's crazy. And even if it's close, T. Higgins is much better than the alternative. And who's second? What? Pringle? You're going to throw some Pringles at me? Like, he's good. He's fine. I'm not knocking him. Sorry, Byron Pringle. But T. Higgins is better. And Tyler Boyd, by the way, in the slot would be a game changer for the Chiefs. And I didn't even mention CJ Uzama. Sorry, CJ. So they have better weapons. And so I think they're comfortable in a variety of different ways. But if you're the Chiefs and you're blitzing, then if you're the Bengals, Burrow's always going to be able to diagnose. You want that because he'll be able to diagnose where it's coming from most of the time or bide enough time to find the right guy. Or it's just going to be a one-on-one to Jamar and he's going to be like, F it, like he did in week 17. And so I do think that there's a happy medium there, for the Bengals where maybe they have a couple big plays with it. But if the Chiefs don't blitz at all, I don't know. I would be surprised if they didn't blitz at all. I would also be surprised if Chase didn't have some one-on-one opportunities and Higgins wouldn't have some one-on-one opportunities. And that's the fun part. That's the matchup. That's why this matchup to me was more exciting is because these young guys have been on the field with the Chiefs after watching them when they were in college, right? When Super Bowls and MVPs, they've been on the same field and they beat them. So they're going to be confident going into this game. So I agree with you. If you're the Chiefs, don't blitz Burrow. But if they don't, at least early on, I think Burrow's patient enough and this offense has shown enough patience to win the other way, which could then test his patience, like you said, and he might want to get after him a bit.
Yeah, and I think the same is also true when the Bengals are on defense because yeah, you can talk about the Bengals skill players. It doesn't really matter who has the better skill players to me. I mean, it helps that the Bengals have great skill players, but the Chiefs still have crazy speed on offense. Nicole
For
Hardman's a
sure.
guy that we didn't talk about, and obviously Travis Kelsey from the University of Cincinnati. I can't believe he didn't spring to mind when you're going through the Chiefs skill guys as a UC alum. But
Well, they clearly have the edge there. Did you see
and
how I phrased that? There was a reason I phrased it the way I phrased it.
well, and Jerick McKinnon too, right? So there's a lot of speed. I'm not saying
Oh,
Jerick McKinnon is a great
they're
player. He's just
faster.
fast,
They're faster than the Bengals.
right?
That's no doubt. I'm not debating
So,
that. Sure.
so what I'm getting at is the same idea. One, Patrick Mahomes just as good as Burrow against the blitz, and Lou Anarumo I thought did a great job of being patient against Patrick Mahomes in Week 17. not blitzing very much. I think they blitzed 6 times in that game. We talked about it with Chris yesterday. They got Patrick Mahomes on a zero look in the red zone to get off the field. And outside of that, Patrick Mahomes got them pretty good on the other 5 snaps. So same thing for Lou. Pick your spots. Hopefully, guess right. When you choose to dial up that pressure, and just like the Titans game, when I think the Bengals did tackle really well, they had some issues downfield, but they tackled well. In this game, you go back to the Chiefs in Week 17, a lot of underneath stuff to their fast guys, and they're doing more of this with Jerick McKinnon, getting more opportunities in the receiving game, and maybe a little bit with Clyde Edwards-Helaire being back, although we haven't seen as much of this. When these guys, Tyreek Hill, Jerick McKinnon, get the ball underneath, the same sort of rally to the ball tackle, minimal yards after carry that the Bengals did in Week 17 needs to be the case again.
Yeah.
Because if Tyreek, you see what he did against the Bills, Tyreek makes one guy miss, and 30 yards later, you're hoping you have a guy with an angle.
There were guys ahead of him,
Yeah.
and he threw up the peace sign
Yeah.
to the guys ahead of him, like, you aren't catching me. They're ahead of you, bro. But the Bills secondary is a little slower. Like, I think the Bengals do have a faster, secondary. So that does matter, especially Cheeto. Don't tell Cheeto that he can't run with those dudes. He's going to be like, yeah, I can. Are you serious?
And he did. In Week
No, no
17, he
doubt.
ran Tyreek all the way to the sideline on a fade. It was great.
Yeah, no, he's certainly capable. And that's the thing. Like, again, this defense, they held him to 3. And they know the challenge, like in the second half. They know the challenge, but I think they're pretty confident going into this. And that doesn't mean, again, I've been talking about 40 points all week. It doesn't mean that they're going to slow them down a ton. But I do think that confidence matters, even if it's almost unrealistic in a game like this, because it is just one game. It's not a best of 7 series. So never know.
I think to borrow from our pal Joe Goodberry, in a response to one of the Schwartzes on Twitter today, the one that hasn't played recently, Jeff, uh, he said, "We've seen it bleed. We know it's mortal. The Bengals have beaten this team." And to your point, James, I think that confidence is absolutely a factor in this game, and might even go to their benefit. Are you saying, you're feeling like the Bengals defense pretty confident? 40-6? You like that one for the Bengals? Two 3-point halves or what?
Oh man, that I mean, sign me up for that because
Right? That'd be
for
fun.
for a variety of reasons. I have a feeling my prediction won't be that, but if so, if it is that, I'll tell you right now, if it is that, I will send out, if it's 40-6 Bengals, I will send out 3 boxes of Built Bars to random listeners. There you go.
Great. There you
How
go.
about that?